Hello children and welcome to the session today. Children, in the last session we learned the game of force and pressure. We understood what are the different kinds of forces. They are acting on different kinds of object, whether they are in contact with each other or they are not in contact with each other. Of one of these contact forces is a very important force. This is called friction, which we are going to study in chapter number 12. Now, friction is a force that brings a body to rest. Friction is an opposing force. If you take a very simple example of rolling a ball on the ground, you see that the ball comes to a halt on its own. How? Because this force of friction stops the ball. Similarly, when you're trying to drag a table over a surface, you have to exert a lot of force. What is it that is stopping the table from moving over the surface? It is again friction. So the force of friction tends to stop a moving object and it prevents a stationary object from moving. Children, frictional force will always work in opposite direction. So, if you are moving the ball towards this direction, the force of friction will work in this direction. That is the only way you can stop a moving object when you are acting in the opposite direction. A simple experiment given in your book can prove this. So, do try this experiment in your classroom. Now, what are the causes of friction? So, children, what can be the probable cause of friction? So, we can understand through the explanation given in your book that if you observe the surface of a table with a very powerful magnifying lens, you will notice that the surface is rough. A rough surface will have a lot of grooves in it. So when a ball or anything is moving over a rough surface, what is going to happen? We will see that the grooves and ridges will interconnect with each other. And when they will interconnect with each other, what is going to happen? Friction is going to be happening. So here we have seen that rough surface will have more friction and a smooth surface will have less friction. Now, once again, you can prove the same. How can you prove it? Take a ball, roll it on the road. A road is a rough surface. Take the same ball, roll it in your school corridor, which is a smooth surface. You will know the distance the ball has traveled and hence the force of friction, whether it is more or less. A simple experiment in your book is also a test for friction. This can be easily done by procuring apparatus from the school science laboratory. So children, what are the factors that affect friction? Let us read them in detail. So friction depends upon the surface that is in contact. So we just learned that if the surface is rough, the friction is going to be more. If the surface is smooth, the friction is going to be less. The second is frictional is directly proportional to the normal force. So when a body is moving over a horizontal surface, it presses down against the surface with the force equal to its weight. So that means a heavier object will get more friction. A lighter object will face less friction. The force of friction does not depend upon the surface area. So we know that force depends on surface area. Lesser the area, more will be the force. But here, this principle does not work. Then, force of friction is self-adjusting. What does this mean? This means that friction also increases when the force is increased. Now children, it has a limit to increase. It cannot go up to infinity. Now let us understand the different kinds of friction that exist through a video. Friction is of two types, static friction and kinetic friction. Static friction is that which exists between the two surfaces that are in contact with each other when there is no relative motion. When we try to move a heavy box from one place to another, the force required to overcome the friction at the instant the box starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. Thus, static friction is the opposing force that comes into play when one body tends to move over the surface of another, but the actual motion has not started. Kinetic friction is of two types, sliding friction and rolling friction. The opposing force that comes into play when a body slides over another body is known as sliding friction. It is important to remember that friction is more if the surface is rough and the weight of the body is more. The opposing force that comes into play when a body rolls over another is called rolling friction. Friction is necessary and has many advantages. You can walk on the ground without slipping because of friction between your feet and the ground. The tires of vehicles like cars, trucks, bicycles have grooves in them to get a better grip on the road, thereby increasing friction. The shoes of players have spikes on the soles to increase friction and provide a better grip on the ground. The force of friction holds nails and screws in wood. A matchstick catches fire when it is rubbed against the rough surface of the matchbox because the force of friction increases the temperature of the match head and its chemicals catch fire. So here we have understood why friction is important. Now coming to the point where we know that friction is undesirable. Why is friction undesirable? So friction causes wastage of energy. You can imagine, understand through an example. For example, there is a bus here that is trying to move on a rough road. What is it using its fuel for? It is using its fuel to overcome the friction. And on a rough road, it is going to be a lot more than on a smooth road. So what is happening here? The fuel is unnecessarily being used to overcome friction. The second thing is, it loses energy in the term of heat and sound. Have you ever wondered when you are using an electric gadget for a long time, why does the body heat up? The body heats up somewhere due to the electric current passing through it, and also because when the ball bearings and the nuts and bolts are moving against each other, what is happening? Friction is happening. Heat is being produced, and that heat is losing extra energy from that appliance. Also, because of that heat, these components of a machine like the screw, the ball bearings or the soles of the shoe, they wear out. Now, certain places friction is very important, but at these places it is important to reduce friction. How do you reduce friction? The first thing is by polishing a rough surface. So you all may have played the game of carom sometime or the other in your life. So in order for the coins to move fast on the carom board, what do? You sprinkle talcum powder. Talcum powder is very soft and it polishes the surface of the carom so that there is less friction, and when you strike the striker, it moves the coins very fast. The second is by lubrication. So if you oil the joints that are connecting the various parts of the machine, they will smoothly move over each other. Again, we know that smoother the surface, lesser is going to be the friction. Coming next to streamlining to reduce fluid friction. What is fluid friction? The friction which is caused by water and air. Let us understand this through a video. The friction exerted by liquids and gases is called fluid friction. The friction exerted by liquids is also called drag. However, it is important to remember that liquids and gases exert lesser friction than solids. When you swim in water, the water exerts a force of friction on you that opposes your motion. Fishes that swim in water have a streamlined shape to reduce friction when they move through the water. Streamlined shape is a special shape of an object around which fluids and air can flow, hence reducing friction. It is for the same reason that the bodies of ships and boats are made streamlined. The shape of the bodies of birds is also streamlined. This helps them to move through the air, experiencing minimum amount of friction. Bullet trains, aeroplanes are also streamlined for the very same reason. Another way of reducing friction is by using wheels and ball bearings. This increases the chances of rolling friction. And we know that rolling friction is always less than sliding friction. Also by using anti-friction materials. What are anti-friction metals? They are alloys of lead that reduce friction. Children, these were the methods of reducing friction. Now let's talk about the ways in which we can increase friction. Why do we have to increase friction? We will understand through these examples. So the first one is the tires have grooves and ridges inside them. This is so that when suddenly the driver applies brake, because of friction, the tires immediately come to a halt. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Accidents. The second is on slippery snow tracks, sand and gravel is thrown. That again makes the surface rough. So when the mountaineers are climbing up this surface, what is going to happen? Friction will not let you slip. Otherwise, if you try walking on snow, what is going to happen? Snow is a very, very smooth surface. There is practically no friction. You will keep on slipping on snow. For the similar reason, spikes are provided on the soles of shoes that sportsmen wear, so that when they are running in the fields, they have a firm grip on the ground when they immediately want to stop. Gymnasts apply a coarse substance to their hands so that when they are holding the bar and jumping around it, there is a lot of friction that prevents them from slipping. So children, in this chapter, we have learnt about the force of friction. We have learned how friction is a necessary evil. Time for you to attempt the questions at the back. Thank you.